Tony Morris here with the Meridian Real Estate Group, and I'm sitting with Lisa Bell with Bay Equity, a loan officer who specializes in VA loans. And today we're going to be speaking with her about that process and how simple it is and how important it is that veterans use that program because it's available to them. One of the things that I've realized in researching is that only about 13% of the veterans nationwide are actually using the program that's available to them to get a VA loan. And that was kind of concerning to me, so I decided to go out and get a MRP certification, which is the Military Relocation Professionals certification, and it allows us to help military veterans relocate. We understand a little bit more about the nuances of what that process is and how we can help them. But obviously one of the things that's concerning about that is that without the right lender, that process fails miserably. And that's why I brought Lisa along today to speak to those maybe those concerns. So Lisa has 20 years experience as a loan officer and more than 10 as a veteran or a VA loan specialist. And one of the things I'm going to ask her to do is speak to the process, the general process, and educate some of you on how the VA loan process takes place, as well as some of the benefits and maybe the loan limits, as well as maybe some of the things that are the misconceptions that are out there about why people aren't taking advantage of the VA loan process. So anyways, it's great to have Lisa here, and we're excited about serving you if you're a veteran and getting your VA loan.
Thanks, Tony, and it's so great that you're partnering with me on this and letting me have the opportunity to speak. And the fact that you are an MRP designated realtor is fantastic, because it makes a difference when you work with people that know how to work with veterans and how to work with active duty, because it will make that process for them so much more smoother.
Thank you. Lisa, tell me, you've been doing loans for quite a while, and you could do probably any loan that you wanted to. Why have you chosen to specialize in VA loans?
Good question. I can do any type of loan and have done every type. I like doing VA loans for a number of reasons. The main reason is because my father, he was in the Navy for 30 years. My sister was in the Army.
Okay.
Come from a family of military people. And he never used his VA benefit. And primarily the reason is because no one ever explained it to him. And I often find that about 95% of the people that I do business with that are VA, whether they're veteran or active duty, have no idea how to use their benefit. And so he passed away before I got into the business. So once I got into the business and understood how to do VA, I made it kind of my mission. That's my passion. I want to help as many people as I can understand what their benefit is. How does it work? Why should you use it? And to clear up some of the misconceptions about it. Because a lot of times people just go straight for one type of loan, not ever even thinking about their VA benefit.
So let's talk about that. What are some of the misconceptions about VAs?
Well, the first misconception is that it's a bad loan. It's that it's the rate's going to be higher, or there's some caveat to it that would make it not as good as a conventional loan or an FHA
is
loan.
That true?
Which is totally false. It's better than any other type of loan.
Really?
However, you have to have served your country. I mean, it's a benefit. It's something that you've earned.
Right.
It's something that you've put your life on the line in a lot of cases, many times in some cases even, to get it. It has the lowest rate typically. It doesn't have mortgage insurance like other loans do. It has easier qualifications. If you have credit issues, bankruptcies, foreclosures, a little bit lower credit score, much easier.
Really?
So it's an easier qualifying loan, and it's a better rate. And it's not processed any differently. There's a few extra forms on our end that we have to do. So there's nothing different for the agent except for one form with the contract, just letting us know it's a VA loan. The borrower does nothing different than for other loans, and in fact, most oftentimes VA requires less documentation.
Really?
Yes, less documentation.
Let's talk about appraisals. How is that any different? Is there an issue with the properties
That's a
not
good
appraised?
question. That is a really good question. And you know, back many years ago, I think it might have been more of a challenge for some people. But with all things being equal now, VA wants the house to be in livable condition.
Okay.
So VA loans are not for flipping homes, the things you see on TV where you can go in and rip the guts out and it doesn't matter if you have a kitchen or not. They want you to be able to walk in the door with minimal work and occupy the property.
Okay.
So you wouldn't want to do a VA loan on a house that has no
Whatever.
water heater
Right, sure.
or whatever.
Sure.
That is typically more of an investor type loan.
Right.
They're not hard on the appraisals. It's the only appraisal that we currently do. If the appraiser cannot get the value, he comes back to us and lets the agents provide additional documentation
Wow.
to substantiate their price.
Wow.
So if the agent is the one telling the seller this is the price you should have, then they should have the documentation to back it up.
Right.
It's the only one that allows that. Conventional doesn't, FHA doesn't,
Right.
no other loan.
Right.
So how could it then be a harder loan if they're giving you opportunity to substantiate the value that you had? They don't want rotten wood, they don't want, air conditioning doesn't work, but you don't want to give your customer that type
Sure.
of house anyway.
Sure.
So I'd like to talk just a second, if I could, about the benefit itself.
Sure. Please.
And what is it? How does it work? What exactly do you get with the VA? So VA is 100% financing. There's no down payment. And we can currently, and quite excitingly, VA has lifted their loan limits, so we can do 100% financing up to $1.5 million.
Wow.
And that's for purchase or refinance.
100% financing.
100% financing.
Wow.
Could you put money down? Some people say, well, what if I want to put money down? Well, you can. You can still put 5 or 10% down if you want to. If you
Right.
want your payment lower, if
Right.
there's some reason why you want to do that. But with rates being as low as they are, why not use your money somewhere
Sure.
else and put it in there? Then your benefit, how does that work? If you served or are currently serving, you probably qualify. Everybody does. There are some instances if you are dishonorably discharged where you may not. Everyone that's dishonorably discharged does not automatically mean that you're not gonna get that.
Okay.
Part of me qualifying you is to get your VA benefit for you. You don't have to fill out any forms. You don't have to do anything. We do that for you here. The other thing is you can use your VA benefit over and over and over. Most oftentimes people think, oh, I got to save that for my last house or somewhere I know I'm going to be.
Interesting.
But you can use it over and over. You can use it 100 times.
What does that process look like? The process of being able to use it over and over. Does that mean that you have to sell the property?
Well,
right?
that's a good question. You actually don't have to sell the property.
It's amazing.
In fact, I do them quite often with active duty. They'll buy a house where they're at now, and then they will PCS or they will move to another area. They'll rent that house out, and they'll use something called bonus entitlement, which every veteran or active duty has.
Wow.
They'll rent the first one out and buy the second one. Where it comes into play is the third one. You may have to sell either the first or the second in order to get
Okay.
enough entitlement for the third. So you can always have two. When it comes to the third, you probably need more. You can also buy a 1 to 4 unit, which a lot of people don't know that. So you can have a 4 unit, rent out 3 of them, and live in the first one.
So an investment property
So an investment property. Yeah.
as a veteran.
As a veteran
What,
or
100%?
active duty.
Would that still be 100% financed?
It'd still be 100% financing. Sure would. Yeah. So it's very exciting, and it's the most exciting thing that I've seen. I've been excited about it since I first learned about VA loans. As I said, they're easy to qualify for. The process is no different. Income documents, assets. A lot of times you don't even need any assets because it's 100% financing. It's one of the only loan programs we have now that you can actually get in with no money.
So what is the misconception out there? Why do you think that more veterans aren't taking advantage of this? If 13%, or there's only 13% of the veterans out there taking advantage of this loan, why is that? Why aren't
It's the same reason my father didn't, because no one is telling them No one is educating them. No one is asking them the question. The very first question I ask when I get someone on the phone, I don't care who it is. I don't care how old they are, how young they are, what they do for a living. I say, have you ever served? Are you currently serving, or have you ever served? First question. And I have actually had clients come to me that said, okay, I want a conventional loan. In fact, the loan you and I closed together. The gentleman wanted a conventional loan. I want to put 20% down, and we were moving right along that way. And then just by chance, he mentioned that he had served. I'm like, why aren't you doing a VA loan? He's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? He had no idea.
Yeah.
And as you know, we ended up doing that, and it saved him $300 a month.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So
you close it
it's
May-
just
yeah, it's-
education.
yeah,
It's just simply education. It's just we need more education. People need to know what they can do.
So why are you so passionate about this? Is it because of your father?
It is because of my father. And I just, I've been working with active duty and veterans for the last 10 years, as you said, and it's about 90% of my business. And I just feel like they've earned it. They need to know what they can do. They just use me or don't.
Yeah.
Just please use your benefit.
Right.
Just use your benefit. That's all I'm asking is learn what it is. Buy a house. It's so cheap to buy right now. It's much cheaper than renting. Invest in your future because we've already invested in you. You served for us. So let us pay you back.
Right.
I mean, that's really the main thing.
How would someone get in contact with you?
They could email me or they could call me at 404-343-9264.
Okay.
Or they could email me at lbell@bayeq.com.